H3T. This is an Alpha with both Adventure Pack and Luxury Pack options. Lockers front and rear from the factory. This has about 70,000 miles on it. It's been extensively wheeled and broken many times. Transfer cases, front axles. This truck belongs to a online presence named Mutaint, and if you want to know more about it, I'm sure you could Google that by using his name. But he brought it down to the THORparts shop to get some work done on it, and solid axle conversion for the front, and we did a few other things, and I'm just going to go through them and go step by step and show you what we did. The basis for this build is a Dana 44, but this is actually a custom high pinion Dana 44 with the passenger drop. It's a Ford casting that originally was over here. It's been moved over here and retubed and then built to factory GM axle specs. So the internals run stock GM shafts. Got a Yukon cast cover. Inside we have a Eaton E-locker. And then we have RCV shafts. Flat top knuckle on the passenger side. We use a crossover steering rig. And as you can see, all the angles are very mild, very flat. Have a track bar back here. Have a drag link here. We use tie rod in low steer stock position. This is a 3-link, and we're using a Toyota FJ80 red top steering box. It's been ported for Ram Assist. The Ram Assist unit is 1.5 inch by 8 inch stroke, and that comes from West Texas Off-Road. Coil springs are for a Bronco, late 70s, early 80s with the V8. Of course, we have the THORparts ABS compatible brake system that allows you to bolt on your stock Hummer H3 brakes onto a 70s or 80s solid axle Dana 44. Before starting any of the axle swap process, we like to take and plate the front frame rails. So we have laser cut frame rail plates that weld onto these, and it basically reinforces the stock crumple zone and adds some strength so that you can support the vehicle from coil springs. These trucks are originally supported with torsion bars, which uses a cross member way back here. Shocks in the front are 8-inch travel Fox 2.0s. These are just off the shelf generic shock. No application, just universal fit. They have an eyelet on the top and the bottom. Running a flat Pitman arm on this one. We had to make a custom shaft on the input that connects the Hummer steering column to the Toyota box, and those parts are all available through Borgenson. Running some Yukon hardcore lockouts on these hubs. It's the first time I've used these. I'm really impressed with these lockouts. They are a very nice unit, and they go together a little different from your normal worn premium type lockout, and probably going to be quite a bit stronger than stock. By the way, these wheels are Hutchinson bead locks. These are 2-piece DOT approved bead lock that allow you to air them down to single digits for off-road traction. Tires are Pro Comp MT2s. These are 37 by 1250. Here's a shot of the rear of the front axle. And there you can see the high pinion pumpkin and a 3-link, and where we weld on the lower link mounts onto the frame. Here's a shot of the upper link mount. And these are THORparts 3-in-1 brackets that take care of your shock, your pivot point for the lower control arm, and also the coil mount on the axle. Using urethane bump stops on this truck. Custom front drive shaft. This is a 1310 CV drive shaft, and that was made by Patterson Driveline, and it is using a THORparts drive shaft adapter. And during this build, the customer supplied me with all new calipers and rotors all the way around. So in addition to the normal solid axle swap stuff, we also did some refitting and freshening up of a few items. Okay, moving to the rear of the truck, we have urethane bump stops that's been added here onto the frame. Replaced the stock leaf springs with a brand new pair of stock leaf springs. This has a spring over axle rear mod here, and we're running 10-inch travel Fox IFPs. These are also universal fit. The rear sway bar has been changed to the SUV version, which allows a little bit more clearance. The stock T sway bar is bent in such a way to clear the spare tire that normally sits right here, and it causes problems at full droop. So we replace that with the SUV rear sway bar. The links are custom. These are just no-name links that I got off the internet and cut them down to the appropriate size. Again, we have new brakes and slotted rotors all the way around. To use these shocks, you have to use a eliminator kit for the pin bars at the top. That's a Cherokee XJ front shock item, in case you're wondering. You have to drill new holes 90 degrees from where the stock ones are and then rotate them. But it's a pretty simple thing to do. Again, we have a new rear drive shaft from Patterson Driveline here in Waverly, Indiana. The rear diff is also the factory Eaton E-locker, and we took this apart and it had a bunch of broken parts inside it and worn parts, so we did a rebuild kit on that, put it all back together. The truck is running 488 gears front and rear. So that's about it. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, and we're always posting up the latest THORparts builds as we get them done. Lots of good Dana 44 information on there as well, and lots of off-roading of Hummers and basically destroying stock stuff and rebuilding it. So check it out. Thanks again.